Noninkables. Hello and welcome to Noninkables, the podcast. We are on episode number 32, and it has been a busy week for the team. So this past weekend was both the Inc. and CCS competitions. So the first competition of Fabled since the big box release, and Tyler went and played at Inc. and did pretty well. He played in their core constructed, I think, 10K, and he played Blurple. You can find his list on Inkdex. I will link it down below. But it's like a Blurple list with Helping Hand, no elephants, and he ended up placing 13th. And the tournament ended up being won by Amber Steele. And then and I think top 16 was like pretty much all Amber Steele or Blurple. And then CCS ended up being won by Purple Steel. Tyler also at Inc. played in the Infinity 5K, and he played Blue Steel, Tamatoa, Popsicles, I think no Chicha, and ended up placing 18th. So pretty good. I know that in his core constructed tournament, around 5, he was on stream, and he did play against Amber Steel and won. He did also win the dice roll, so I think that helped a lot. And then his last round to make it into top 16, he had to play Justin, who is a friend from SLTC, who I think he was staying with. So kind of unfortunate friend kill prior to top 16. This weekend, Gary also played in a PPG Denver qualifier. So similar to the one Brian and I played in for Texas, where I won that like kids sports trophy. So Gary went and played in one and got second. And so he has a bye secured for Denver. And he played a Blurple list that he has been testing, I think with like elephants and the usual stuff, the usual players in Blurple. Brian and I did not play in anything this weekend, but we did both, and I think continue both to kind of panic about what we want to play for Denver. So I have been playing pretty much Blurple this whole set, like the short time that the set has been out. But I definitely don't feel as secure in Blurple as I did last set in Red-Blue. I feel like last set, I really understood the deck. I knew what to do. I kind of knew like how to play each matchup, and like the deck just made sense to me. I was vibing. And then this set, it feels like, so I remember before we went to PPG Texas, I tried the Red-Blue Sharks list. And I was like, I feel like I'm making up stuff every single time. I don't understand it, right? And I feel like I don't understand it. And for this set, right now it feels similar, and maybe I just need more practice and it'll make more sense. But I also feel like the Blurple deck is maybe not as good as Red-Blue Sharks. I feel like Red-Blue Sharks gave you such a big advantage when you played it, and as long as you could deal with the mirror, it was great. And you didn't run into too much aggro. But the Blurple list is like not the same. Also, I do really miss B-Prep all the time. And I think it's just a different style of play that I am not very familiar with. So it's like new skills that I have to acquire. So of course, because Amber Steel won Inc., I was like, oh, let me try Amber Steel. So I tried the Amber Steel list, and I think after one game, I was like, I don't want to play this. Because I feel like with Amber Steel, when I play at least, like the first few turns are easy, I get it, and then I don't know how to play anything after. And if I haven't won by turn 5, like I don't know how to do it, because it just feels like I run out of cards and everything I play gets removed. And then I also did try Purple Steel since that won CCS, and I feel like for several sets now, Tyler has said that Purple Steel is very fair and you can outskill your opponent, but the matchup spread is even, so like you're pretty good into the pretty 50-50 into all the decks. And I realized I don't have the skill. It's too fair. I don't have the skill to outskill all of my opponents. And so I need a deck that can at least high roll a little bit. So I'm not going to play Purple Steel for that reason. I don't think I'm good enough. And so instead, I will probably be playing Blurple. I'm probably going to play Tyler's list, but I'm not sure. I'm going to just bring all the cards possible that would go into Blurple and figure it out. I have a lot more testing to do. I do leave tomorrow. I have to drop my daughter off in Vegas first, because usually we drop her off with Brian's parents, but they're out of town. So I'm taking her to Vegas to my parents. So I'm leaving on Wednesday, and then Thursday I'll fly to Denver from Vegas. And so lots of traveling, but hopefully I will have time to grind out some games and then decide on a deck. So see you guys in Denver. Our team are all bounty players. So it's me, Brian, and Gary that are going to be at PPG Denver. So Tyler's not going to be there. But the three of us are bounty players. I believe if you play us in the tournament and you win, you will win packs. So I hope you play. I don't know. Because I think if you don't win, then we get the packs. I don't know. So first time being bounty players, I'm very excited. Also excited that I got to find a use for that photo. And so we'll see you there. If you're at PPG Denver, I will be bringing several of my foiled mats that I've made. And so if you want to buy some or trade me for cards, I will trade foil mats for basically the cards that we're missing. So like a bunch of enchanteds from set 7, 8, and Fabled. Some epics from this set. Dumbos. I think we're missing like 4 more Dumbos. So I will also trade mats for Dumbos. I will also trade them for money, unless that's not allowed, in which case, because I know at the DLCs it wasn't allowed. I don't know the rules for PPG. But yeah, if you are interested in a mat, come find me. I will have a couple. I'll have the 3 I made this week, so I'll show you later. It's Mufasa, Stitch, and Rescuers. I'll also have the Hades mat, a Winnie the Pooh mat, an Elsa, a Belle, a Rapunzel. How far I'll go. Feel like there's one more, but I can't remember. So those are the mats. And if you're interested in making your own foiled mat, a bunch of people have asked me about how I do it. I will be publishing a video on Friday that kind of details my process and how I make the foil mats. But like a quick overview, basically I just trace the pattern that I want in Procreate. I export it to Cricut, have the Cricut cut it out, and then I iron it on. I did add another step since I made the video that I don't talk about in the video. So, but it's basically, so when I all the like detail work for the mats, like the first iron, I use a little iron. This is the Cricut like mini press. I think you're supposed to use it for hats and stuff like that. So I use this to iron it on because then that way I can save foil. I don't have to use as much. And then when I've gotten all the designs on, with like a final iron with the giant heat press, and it puts a little bit more weight to kind of like seal stuff in, because some of the ones that I've made in the past peeled a little bit. And I think it's just because it was like towards the edges, and if I get too close and go over where the plastic is on the backing, sometimes it like creates a mark in the mat. Like you can't really see it, but I can see it and I know it's there and it bothers me. So then I get kind of careful. And so I think that extra step will really help seal the mat. Oh, what I'm also excited about is that they're going to have Labubu competitions at PPG Denver. And I didn't get to go play in any because they were during the main competition in Texas. So hopefully they have some on Sunday. And also at Gen Con, everyone took a really cute picture of their Labubus, but I forgot to bring mine. So this time I'm definitely bringing mine. This is my Labubu. It's a have a seat Labubu because he's sitting. I shouldn't know that much about the Labubus. My sister-in-law gave me this one so that I would have one as like a reference to make clothes for the other Labubus. And then I made this one little, because he's mint colored, which is the same color as Baby Saj's hair. So he has Baby Saj's little hat and then his sweater. Yeah. So my Labubu is ready. Then next, okay, let's see the mats that I made this week. So first one is this Rescue Rangers. This would be, I would call this it's like premium getting into ultra premium range. So maybe a little more expensive. And seriously, the price would literally be because of the swatter at the bottom. So see how it's like a bunch of little dots? So all of those little dots are foil. It's in this like kind of opal-y white foil. But the dots are very annoying to do and like more tedious. Because usually after you cut it on the Cricut, you can just like, you basically tear off the parts that you don't need. And then with the dots, like it doesn't always cut through all the way. And then like sometimes they go with the backing. So it's like a lot more time intensive. Sometimes you have to like push down each individual dot. And so I feel like that's where the time goes. And there's also foiling on this like green portion. There's like the matte green foiling and then the shiny green. And then there's a little bit of opal foiling on the bell. This opal that I found is like very subtle and I really like it. Put it like everywhere. And then on the top, there is foiling obviously on the nose of the plane and then this like white stripe across. And then on all the little chipmunks, on Whose outfit is it? On Dale's like Hawaiian shirt, the flowers are foiled, and there's like all the highlights are foiled. And then also here, the wings are foiled and some of the head. So a lot of foiling going on. I feel like it's pretty indicative of my style compared to the other people who are foiling mats. So if you want foiled mats, I know Mattify is like the most famous one. You can buy them on his website. And I feel like his tend to be like 1 to 2 colors of foil, but there's like a lot of foil. And then the other one I know who does it is Lorcana Fran, who actually helped me with a lot of the pricing stuff. And she does both. She has like a standard and like a premium, where the premium has like more colors. And I feel like on her scale, my mats are all like premium or ultra premium because I get too excited and I want to do all the colors, all the foil. Okay, the next one is the stitch mat. It is so cute. So there's like 3 different shades of blue on his ears. There's like a blue highlight. There's like a dark blue. There's purple here. There's also some subtle opal doing the highlights like on his hands here and then on his robot suit. This little bag that he has 2 colors, and then there's red foiling on his outfit and then some pink for his little ruby insignia. Yeah, this is the stitch one. And then the last one, I just did it yesterday, is the Mufasa mat. And while I was doing it, like I had like done all the foiling designs and I cut them out and I was like ironing them on. And I was like, ooh, there's more colors I want to add to this. So got a lot. And this is my Mufasa mat version. So obviously you foil the blue flowers, right? So the flowers have like 3 colors of foil. There's like a blue, a light blue highlight, and a dark blue shadow. And then on actual Mufasa, there is blue, there is green, there is red, there is pink, there is orange. It's multi-dimensional. And this really does remind me of like, those paintings I feel like that you did at paint night that were really popular. There's like a line one with like different color brushstrokes. It gives me those vibes. But yeah, this is the Mufasa. And then also there's, did I do that? Okay. Now that I look at it, I'm like, ooh, there's more stuff I could foil. Oh, and there's also some like white highlight of that like opal stuff also on Mufasa. So this is my Mufasa mat. So I will have all of these mats as well as some of my other ones with me. So if you want to do some trading, let me know. And what else? I think that is it. See you guys in Denver. I hope I get better at playing this deck prior to Denver. Hopefully it'll all start clicking soon. I mean, it's already clicking more than it did yesterday. I did like a 20-minute thing with Tyler where basically we just hopped on a voice chat and he watched me play and I said what I was going to do and then he said what he would do and the reasons why. And I feel like that already is super helpful in terms of understanding the deck more. And I realized I was not being patient enough and like questing way too impatiently and getting punished for that. So just need to be more patient, which is hard because my nature is to attack and to quest a lot. Waiting is hard. Waiting for better trades is good though. You want to get that efficiency in terms of your cards that you play. So hopefully I'll get better before this weekend. Hope to see you all in Denver. Ooh, the other thing that's happening this weekend is the DLC in Beijing, China. Because I bought some Dumbos on TCG Player. And turns out they were from Judy, who is a local. And so we ended up just kind of doing our purchase outside of TCG Player. But she needed Chinese cards because she's playing in DLC Beijing with her husband is going, as well as I think Ed and maybe Zan, I heard. I think that's what Brian told me. They're all going to, and DKP, I think. All of them. And it is a Shimmering Skies meta there. So she needed Chinese cards. And I was like, oh, I have all these like Floodborn Chinese cards that I didn't open because I forgot that I got them. Because I got them in the Ravensburger like fair lottery, whatever thing they had. And then I forgot. And so I ended up opening them. And I did open up an enchanted Rise of the Floodborn Cinderella. So the Cinderella Spectacular not Spectacular Singer, that's Ariel's name. Cinderella Ballroom Sensation, I think is her name. the enchanted one of that, which is exciting. And then I think that was like the best card. Definitely the best card. I feel like the other cards were not super exciting. And so I gave her a bunch of cards because I think in China you have to play Chinese cards, in Japan you have to play Japanese cards, and then the rest of Asia you play English cards, which is interesting. So so Judy and them are going to DLC Beijing. Hopefully next year when they have another one, I can go because I really do need to go back to China and visit my family there because last time I went to China was 2020 in February, pre-COVID. Well, technically the very beginning of COVID. No, I did not bring it back. I'm not patient zero for that. But when I took off to go to China, the travel advisories were all like, you can go, just wear a mask, probably fine. By the time we landed, like 15, 16 hours later, it was like, don't go to China. And we were there for Chinese New Year, so everything was closed anyways for those couple of days. I saw my mom's side of the family, and then we were supposed to go see my dad's side and like do some stuff for like the next 2 weeks. But then they were already starting to like cancel flights and stuff. So I was like, we gotta get out of here. So middle of the night, I bought us plane tickets back before they canceled our tickets. And that was like one of the cheapest first class flights I ever bought. It was only like $200 more than economy to fly first class. I think it was like maybe $800 a person, which is super cheap. And so we experienced United Polaris. We had a stopover in Hong Kong for like 12 hours. And they had in their like Polaris lounge, they had dim sum, they had pho, they had, I guess technically it wasn't pho, it was like Mixian crossing bridge noodles, just basically like Chinese pho. And they had curries. I just remember there being like so much good food. I was like, I could hang out here the whole time. But yeah, it was super crazy. We got back like end of February and then lockdown happened. And prior to that, I think the last time I saw my dad's side of the family had been like probably, I want to say like 10. It's been a long time. So I haven't seen my dad's side of the family in a really long time. So hopefully when they announce next DLC, there'll be like enough time where I can actually go and my daughter so she can like meet everybody. Maybe Brian will have PTO him too because he hasn't met my family either. So hopefully we can go to that. I also want to go to Taiwan because I love Taiwan and with that DLC. And then I think they're going to have one in the Philippines. So with that and Brian's side of the family. So fingers crossed that soon so I can like plan my life. Anyways, that is it. I need to go pack and also practice some more. That's for me. And as always, keep shuffling. Hopefully you don't end up with a whole handful of non-inkables.